time matchup when we're talking region play, Jack, because these games, they're the important ones to set yourself up well for the playoffs. So every game from here on out, they matter.
Absolutely. If you look at both of these teams, too, Fort Dorchester played for the 5A state championship. They lost a lot of turnover. West Ashley, a youthful group, but are really moving in the right direction. Not only we mentioned the youth, but we're going to take a look at maybe 2 seniors for players to watch tonight.
Exactly. We love to give credit where credit is due to these seniors, guys who have been with the program for several years at this point. And over at Fort Dorchester, we are talking Brandon Moore. He's one of their captains. He was one of only 3 players on this team last year to witness that state championship run. He's a smart guy. He's taken on a bigger role this year, so expect big things from him. And then on the other side, we're talking senior Tyler Point, and this guy is their leader. He's a hustle player. Their coach, he says, George Jenkins, not the biggest player there on the court that we're going to see, but he plays with the biggest heart. And in games like that, we need players exactly like him, Jack.
Absolutely. High school hoops driven by Cruz Chevrolet as we take a look at the keys to the game for the ball game. Fort Dorchester off to a slow start. What are they going to need to do, Natalie, in order to get a big-time win tonight?
Well, first and foremost, they're going to need to handle the pressure because this Wildcat team, they're a team that's going to press. They're going to be in your face defensively. They're going to need to just slow themselves down and make sure they maintain the game that they want to play. Also, buy into your role. This is a team with not a lot of identity. They're still trying to figure themselves out. West Ashley, on the other hand, they're going to need to do the little things today, and that is crash the glass, score around the basket. When you have those easy lay-ins, those easy points, you need to capitalize on those.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. Make sure you're tuning back in. We're going to have a really fun one tonight. It's a big one in Region 7 5A. West Ashley hosting Fort Dorchester. Make sure you come back. Join us as we head to break. That was awesome.
That was awesome. Awesome.
Thank you, sir. Welcome back into my TV, Charleston's high school hoops, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Tonight's matchup, again, West Ashley Wildcats playing host to the Fort Dorchester Patriots. And you can take a good look in this play at West Ashley High School.
Yeah, looking at Fort Dorchester, again, we are talking about the youth of this team. Why not start it off with number 2, Marco Simpson, number 3, Tyrell Gadsden, Ethan Corbin, and now that I'm looking at this, I think this might be our roster from last week. So hopefully we will get the figure it out for the Dorchester Patriots, but we're looking at number 2, Tony McGill, number 4, Brandon Moore, number 12, Jordan Wright, 24, Kyrie Bea, and 34, Nick Pickering, Jack.
We'll get those starting lineups back to you, but how about to take a look in at Thomas McElveen in his 4th season over at Fort Dorchester High School. We mentioned it in our open. This guy led this team, this program, which is so widely regarded as a football school, to its 2nd ever state championship last year at 5A level, where they did finish runner-up. You see, though, coaching him up right now, assistant coach Jordan McElveen. The name sounds familiar. It means it should. That's his son. Former Low Country standout Jordan McElveen, now on the bench with his pops, have maybe their biggest coaching challenge to date, Natalie.
I think so, too. And 4th year, you don't expect to make it to a state championship in your young career, but that's exactly what they did last year. Of course, different circumstances this year, but a challenge that they have taken on with full steam.
Well, we talked about youth. You take a look at Coach George Jenkins. He's seen it all throughout the coaching carousel. He's a former Burke standout. 1996, they played for a state championship, won it, playing for the legendary Coach Tony Brown. He was a McDonald All-American nominee. Coach George Jenkins, in just his 1st year, has taken a youthful West Ashley team, surprised many in Low Country, Natalie, as we've got this one underway. Early and often, I think he was maybe a little bit caught off surprise as well as we are, as that's our player to watch for the evening, Brandon Moore, who's unable to corral that one. Natalie, we've seen it, we talked about it, you mentioned it. Fort Dorchester and West Ashley pressing on both sides of the ball early.
And that's what they're going to need to do. And this is a team, head coach McElveen, he told us they don't have much of an identity. They're still trying to work out the nuts and bolts of this team, but they're very good at taking what other teams give them. And if this West Ashley team is a team that is going to be in your face pressing, that's exactly what they're going to do too.
Absolutely. You just see there the freshman Jordan Wright unable to corral that pass. We're working on getting those starting lineups for you, but throughout this, we'll go ahead and mention them on West Ashley's side. You see handle the Rockets, another freshman, number 5, Damani White, kicks to the corner to the big fella, the sophomore. We're going to say this guy's name a lot tonight, Lavelle Minus. He's at the heart of this lineup. And Natalie, unable to control the rock here early. A couple maybe errant passes. Lights are bright here on Friday night. Both coaches upset with the inability to catch the ball early. You've played many a days. Think back to your glory days playing college basketball. Maybe a little early jitters for both sides?
Yeah, just a little time. You just got to settle it in. Of course, some sloppy passes right now, but both of these teams, they will iron those things out. And, you know, if they don't, their coaches are going to have some words for them, and sooner rather than later, Jack.
Absolutely. You see the Sean Capers, the 6'2 sophomore, unable to get out when to go. But on the other end, first basket of the game, it's going to be number 24, Kyrie Bea, the 6'1" junior, coast to coast, sweet finish. Fort Dorchester immediately back into the presses. Number 5, Damani White looks to break it. A little bit loose ball, and it's going to be Kyrie Bea tangled up. No official call on the floor yet. Nothing. Fort Dorchester pushing. The pass up to Brandon Moore, and he's going to be fouled by Damani White. We're going to head to the free throw line. First free throws of the game are going to be brought to you by Will Lou Gray Opportunity School, but his replay brought to you by David A. Law Offices.
And that's a great pass. Right now we're seeing the up-paced tempo of both of these teams. And if you got guys that are going to be able to get out and run, get ahead of both of the defense and their teammates, then throw it to them.
It's a really nice find by Tony McGill, a junior, 5'10", the point guard of this Fort Dorchester team. Coach McElveen mentioned about McGill. He's a guy that, you know, what hasn't necessarily ever been a primary ball handler for Fort Dorchester. This year he's taken on a role with a lot of old veteran seniors leaving after last year's state championship team. But you can kind of see, Natalie, that he's starting to get comfortable in that point guard position.
Exactly, and there were only 3 players that are on this team this year that were a part of that state championship team last year. So growing pains certainly a thing this year for a lot of guys playing different roles that they didn't play last year, or they didn't even really get a lot of minutes last year. So a lot of new for this team, and it's been fun for him to kind of figure things out and who's going to be in what position, and it's something both of the coaches and the players are still trying to figure out as well.
Absolutely. You see those Will Lou Gray free throws knocked down by the senior Tyler Point. Natalie had talked about him in the open. Tyler Point's a guy that really does it all for this West Ashley team. He's averaging 11 points per game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. But you mentioned what they talked about is, how about the putback there? Coach McElveen upset with that one, as that's an easy 2 on the inside as West Ashley immediately with a little high pressure with their front court there. But Tyler Point's a guy as a senior. He's kind of pioneer, and he's captaining the ship of a team filled with a lot of younger guys.
Yeah, and when you have those younger guys, they need someone to be a leader.
Absolutely. How about Deshaun Capers on the run again? The freshman in the corner, Devontae White for 3, and he's got it. Knocked down. His 4th of the game. Boom. And now we're starting to get it going. You see both teams starting to get comfortable as Tony McGill with a nice look from the inside, and it's going to be Deshaun Capers on the run. Lavelle Mine is back to Capers, and Capers going to slow things down.
Yeah, I have a feeling you're not going to get a lot of time to celebrate the shots you knock down, because the other team is going to be throwing that ball right down the court to get a bucket of their own. Absolutely.
Minus gets the offensive rebound, but it's blocked immediately by Kyrie Bea. Pickering, how about a sweet little behind the back? McGill with another one. Brandon Moore, a player to watch. Only averaging 3 a game. He's heading back to the Willow Gray line with a chance for 3 the old-fashioned way.
And this is just pretty basketball. So many guys getting in on this play, and then a nice finish by Tyler Point there. Oh, excuse me, Brandon Moore there over on the Fort Dorchester team, finishing with the contact and the bucket.
Look at that early and often from these guys.
And we're starting to get a sense of what this Fort Dorchester team is capable of. Yes, only 2 wins on the year, but that was pretty basketball on that play. Getting a lot of guys in, touching the ball, sharing the ball, and getting a bucket as a result.
Immediately you saw number 15, Colin Shepard, the 6'1" senior, immediately pressuring the ball. He's one of those 3 returners that you mentioned. Looks to jump the passing lane there, might come back and bite him. As how about the other freshman in the corner? Kendall Mack. 6-foot freshman is a lights-out shooter. Coach Jenkins told us freshman burns you there, as Shepard, the senior, tries to jump the passing lane and unable to stay on the same lane there.
And you love the attack to the basket, or at least the straightforward look to the basket, and then you kick it out to your teammate who's alone in the corner there, and you got to take advantage of those opportunities to knock down those shots.
Lavelle Miney says, hey, I want in on the action. Everybody's making it rain 3s. How about the sophomore, the big fella?
Corner to
pocket.
We'll take it.
And again, we mentioned it as Colin Shepard with a youngster mistake. The senior knows better. He's upset with himself. As you take a look back at the David Ayler Law Office, what you like about this play, Natalie?
I mean, we just kind of saw deja vu, right, in the other corner. You take a few dribbles, penetrate towards the middle, you have a strong kick out to a shooter who's waiting there patiently in the corner, and when you have those opportunities, you got to take advantage and knock them down.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Come on. Devontae White, the freshman. Calm, cool, collected at the top of that 131 press. He gets a crazy, hey! She's still got it, folks.
We're ready here on the sideline,
I don't know
folks.
if we've got that one, but Natalie's following with the big-time hands. Go ahead, David Ayler, let's see it. I'd love to say that he's had this one mapped up, but
this might be a little home rim advantage. You just kind of know your gym, you know your rims, because that was pretty.
That's a guy feeling himself. It's West Ashley, a lot of pressure. You're going to see this defense really sticking into the chest. But how about that start? With just 3:56 to go here in the first quarter, West Ashley with 4 early 3-pointers gets out to a commanding 14-6 lead as we're going to take our first break of the evening.
Good. You just got to make it really obvious. Like, even if you have to run up into them, run onto the court, doesn't matter.
I'm more impressed with you.
Played a little college hoops back in the day.
Really?
I did, yeah. That's so funny. Put me in, coach. Yeah, we need a highlight for that one. That was fun. Okay. Yeah, the whole wrong roster at the top really threw me off for like a good 2 minutes after. I was like, wait. That was their team last week. 3 3-pointers from West. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. I didn't know if we were live there or not.
We're good.
Welcome back into West Ashley High School. Mike TV Charleston's High School Hoops, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Natalie, a plethora of three-pointers from the youngsters on West Ashley's got them out to a big start.
Yeah, they're putting on a show for this home crowd right now. And it's funny because head coach George Jenkins gave us a few keys to the game. He said we just need to rebound, knock down our free throws, prevent some turnovers. He didn't say a key to the game would be knocking down big shots, because that is what his team is doing tonight in these early minutes.
Absolutely. It's been a lot of the freshmen. Damani White, he's got the big, crazy knockdown jumper from the elbow, but his ability to dish and get into the paint, draw Fort Dorchester defense in and kick into the corners, he's got 2 early assists. You see a little inbound there. How about the turnaround jumper, unable to go? Nick Pickering fighting on the offensive glass, unable to get a go. Finally corralled by Sean Capers, looking to get it out in the transition. And now they've got us on our toes over here.
I was going to say, we got to stay ready and aware at all times over here on the sideline.
But as expected, right? Both teams very athletic bunches. Widely regarded in the Low Country as 2 of the better football programs in the area. See, get us a look over here. Natalie's got her laces all ready to roll.
Ready to go.
We're not as athletic as the young men student athletes on the floor, because I'm telling you, these guys love to get up and down. They love to press and allow their athleticism to turn their defense into best offenses.
Right.
You see Fort Dorchester a little lost in the half-court set early.
I'd like to think one day we used to be this athletic. Not so much anymore.
Not so much. And not as athletic as the big fella, Nick Pickering. Defensive lineman for Fort Dorchester, as he's going to head to the line and try to knock down 2 Will Lou Gray free throws. Will Lou Gray Opportunity School, a rich tradition of individualized learning.
Well, there's Nick Pickering, but not at the free throw line. He wanted to do it the harder way.
I was going to say, officials, what do I know? I thought he was in the act of shooting. Nick Pickering said, hey, 2 rebounds, 2 layups underneath the basket, get it the hard way. Those points in the paint brought to you by West Shore Home, America's most admired home remodeling brand. As now, we're going to take a look. Nah, I'd rather have the basket underneath. What you think?
I was going to say, he wants it the hard way. He says, get out of my way. His nickname, Butter. Butter. Smooth like butter on that one.
I was going to say 6 foot, 225, nimble feet. Coach McElveen mentioned to us, stud on the football field, to be able to get after the quarterback, but an absolute presence in the paint. As we see Tyler Point heading to the free throw line, knocks down the first of the Will Lou Gray free throws. I like this kid's ability to get to the basket. Again, we mentioned a little undersized at the front court position, but his ability to go up, hang in the air, and draw that foul is really impressive.
Yeah, and it's what they need. This is a fast-paced team. They want to get to the basket. I mean, they're knocking down threes all night long so far, but their MO is to get to the basket. They need those quick guys with the ability to work hard and get deep into the paint, so then you have the opportunity to kick it out to shooters.
Absolutely. You see Maddox Clyburn checking in for the freshman Kendall Mack. West Ashley sitting back in a 2-3 after showing Fort Dorchester quite the press early. That long 3 unable to go for number 3, Kaz Williams. And it's our guy, Tyler Point, transition. Damani White going to try to get him with a head fake and unable to do so. Maddox Clyburn looking to slow things down. Both of these coaches widely regarded for their ability to make adjustments. Both teams going to zone. Doesn't seem to matter for the freshman Damani White. He gets that sweet layup. Little up and under to go. West Ashley student section all kind of fired up. The camo loud and proud. Natalie, similar to Friday nights in the fall, but there's something to be said about a high school gym being as packed as it is tonight. Gives you goosebumps.
I think so too. It's just awesome to watch, and that's an awesome shot to watch. 15, Colin Shepard trying to silence this gym.
He couldn't get his first to go. Can't leave that guy too wide open. But how about that guy? Tyler Point, player to watch for the evening. He's heading back to the Will Lou Gray free throw line for a chance to get the and one finish.
We're really just seeing lots of offense from this team. They've showed us their ability to score really from all areas of the court, whether that's in the paint, on the perimeter, and they love to share the ball, and that's great to see from your freshmen, the future of your program.
I was going to say, for a lot of upperclassmen, sometimes the learning curve of the game is really just about the speed of play. As Tyler Point's able to knock down Will Lugray free throw, a rich tradition of individualized learning. But how about Point at the top of that 1-3-1? Again, making his presence felt. Nice dish in from Kaz Williams, but that was Jaquan Walker. Haven't mentioned his name quite yet. Hasn't been able to corral it, but see Coach McElveen there. But both of these coaches have the task of allowing these freshmen and sophomore to fail, right?
Right. So
many of them getting so much minutes often. As you see Lavelle Minor, that two-pointer is going to be long, and Darius Balaam, haven't mentioned him yet today. The two-sport standout, not on the same page with Jaquan Walker again, but both coaches are tasked with getting all of these younger guys to get the game to slow down. Like Coach McElveen mentioned, it's not checkers, it's chess. And when the game starts to slow down for these youngsters, you'll see that their play will truly develop. Fort Dorchester, a little half-court press. A nice dish. Maddox Clyburn. Cam Brown unable to get it to go. West Ashley with another offensive rebound. They've really crashed the glass heavy on the offensive side tonight, Allie.
And that's not what you want to see if you're head coach Thomas McElveen, because right now his team's stringing together a few turnovers. They've really been unable to get anything going on offense quite yet. And it's because this West Ashley team is just making things hard for them.
Let's see if Kaz Williams can't change that. Jaquan Walker hung up in the air. Back to the top of the key. Darius Balaam for three. Unable to get it to fall. Nice box out from Jaden Sanders there underneath the rim. Get the rebound. West Ashley back up the other side. Tyler Point again right around the rim. We're going to get a ball flying onto the court. I don't know if you can see it in the shot there. We got a little guy in a green shirt. May have made a mistake and absolutely darts up the stairs. As we see Coach Jenkins upset. Pace of play. Mistakes happen as Tyler Point.
I mean, last week we had a Gatorade bottle on the court?
It was a Gatorade bottle last week, a basketball this week.
Just the extracurriculars.
I was going to say, we just get the little man wanted to play, that's all.
Yeah, it's a part of the atmosphere.
Yeah, absolutely. As Michael Smalls is going to be charged with that foul. 20-11 with just 24 to play in the first quarter. West Ashley got to assume they're going to hold for the last shot. What do I know? Too strong. How about the sophomore, Cam Brown, standing at 6'3". Those are two big West Shore home points right there to extend the lead 22-11 with just 20 to play.
Yeah, let's take a look at this one. I love the inside ball movement, and I think you got to remember the inbounder is also a part of the game. Sometimes it's easy to forget that. You leave him alone, but he slid his way in there, and just a smart play by Cameron Brown, the sophomore.
Absolutely. Go play above the rim, big fella. Play strong as he's unable to get the Will Lugray free throw to fall, and possession will lie with Fort Dorchester. It might seem trivial, but with just 19 to go, Coach McElveen understands with a young group, it's all about momentum and confidence. They can find a way to get this thing to single digits heading into the second quarter, build off a big basket here on this possession. Look for them to get Darius Balaam involved. Haven't yet seen him enter the box score quite yet, as he's able to corral that pass. About the freshman again, Damani White. When we get the free throw to go, Clyde Max. Yes, sir. How about the 4-3 in the first quarter? That one from Maddox Clyburn. A big one. You can see it. He's juiced. This gym's juiced as they're able to extend the lead to 25-11. That one from the senior, Maddox Clyburn. Left him open, made him pay. So we're going to head to break. I know. He
that
gets so
poor
scared.
thing.
Oh, he's immediately crying. It's so funny.
Oh, see, I didn't see this
Yeah.
part. Oh, he
Watch
runs.
it.
Oh, my gosh.
That's what I was trying to say. Dorch, great work.
See, when you said I don't know if you see it in your shot, I
Perfect.
thought you were talking about the ball. I'm like, what do you mean it's on the court? Oh, that's funny.
Perfect. That's awesome, Vince. Thank you. That'll be funny.
Oh. That is good stuff.
I gotta slow down. I gotta slow down. Just because the game is going fast, I gotta slow.
So too.
Welcome back to My TV Charleston's High School Hoops, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. We're back here at West Ashley High School where they jumped out to a big-time 25-11 lead. But, folks, we're going to show you maybe the play of the quarter. Our young man, maybe a future Wildcat in the green shirt, misplays it from the top of the steps, understands the official's going to go out to get it. Hey, we're never going to see you. That's right. Green shirt, uneasy to find. He darts out of there. Natalie, pretty good wheels on the young man.
Pretty good wheels. That's a future Wildcat, if you ask me. I think, yeah, George Jenkins will gladly have him on his team. This is a team full of energy. You love it. You love
I was going to
see
say.
it. We love a comedic moment over here on the sideline, Jack.
Coach Jenkins, you wouldn't be able to tell. Oh, hey, there he is right there.
There's our guy.
He's fired up. There
Little
may
does
have
he
been
know he's the guy of the hour right now.
I was going to say, there may have been a tear shed or two. It means it was a true, honest mistake. But
Yeah.
he's just taking in some big-time basketballs. His home team has got a big-time 25-11 lead in this one. On pace for 100 points, but Coach Jenkins fired up. You'd have no idea. Oh, he wants a timeout immediately, Natalie. He knows when he's unhappy is we're going to be able to tune in. He expects excellence, despite youth, despite age. Natalie, you talk about how stacked this region is. Somerville at the top. Ashley Ridge has been quite the formidable opponent. These two teams, Fort Dorchester, are usually a powerhouse. But Coach Jenkins expects this team to win. Not in a couple of years. They're a young team. He expects them to win now.
Yeah, and it's funny to say because he has a lot of friends come to games like today. I mean, why would you not? But this is a team, he said, his friends show up and say they look a little undersized, they look a little young. I'm not sure if you can match up with the team across the sideline from you. And he says, don't judge a book by its cover because then both the teams, they hit the floor and you would have never guessed that this is a team full of freshmen, especially by the way they're playing tonight, Jack.
Absolutely. I mean, they've knocked down a lot of shots, obviously, with 4 3-pointers in the first quarter. That's a big-time key to any recipe. Is we see Tony McGill on the offensive rebound. He's going to dish out to Darius Balaam. Balaam, a guy that we expect to really get it going here in this ball game, is Jaquan Walker unable to get it falling. It's Damani White in transition. How about the find? Jaden Sanders unable to get it go, but he's got 2 Willow Gray free throws as they're going to charge that foul on Kyrie Bea. He's first. But the dish from Damani White, he's seeing the floor really well tonight.
They all are, and I want to give a little credit to Fort Dorchester on that play. That was one of just a few we saw in the first quarter where they got some nice shots out of that possession. They shared the ball. They were able to pick up an offensive rebound or two, and it didn't go their way. But you got to get back on defense, and this is a Wildcat team. We saw it for 8 minutes at this point. They run the floor, and if something doesn't work for you on offense, doesn't mean you can't give up on the defensive end of the floor.
Absolutely. Both teams do a great job of running baseline to baseline. Sometimes you find high school coaches, their biggest pet peeves will be getting guys that go free throw line to free throw line. These guys go absolutely to the buzzer rings as you see him again. Maddox Clyburn with the big 3 in the first, fighting over the loose ball. Possession will remain with the Patriots, but those free throws brought to you by Holy City Heating and Air. They provide solutions for every season. Fort Dorchester looking for some solutions themselves, unable to take care of the basketball early, is just a little nilly-willy with it, Natalie. Looking for maybe Tony McGill or maybe it's a guy like Darius Bellum who's able to hold on to it.
Yeah, they're looking for a guy on the inside, but this Wildcat defense making it hard for them to work that inside-outside game. But they got 2 out of that one, Jack, and they looked good on that possession.
Absolutely. Spoke into existence. There was Darius Balaam getting the offensive rebound and put back. West Ashley still on the press is Fort Dorchester. But Maddox, again, he likes that spot. Off the front iron is Jaquan Walker's going to turn into transition. How about the left hand? Good no call. West Ashley's going to run with it. Ooh. Yeah. They're going to get Kyrie Bea. That's going to be his second. Damani White just absolutely electric with a hand. He's got no choice but to foul here. Kyrie Bea, 6'1" junior, football player as well, long, lanky, strong build. You can see there, just let Damani White beat him to the spot. So we're going to see Nick Pickering check in as Bea's going to head to the bench with those 2 early fouls. Seventh foul and a half on Fort Dorchester will send Damani White to the free throw line to knock down the first of the Holy City heating and air free throws as he's able to convert. West Ashley with a 26-13 lead over Fort Dorchester with just 6:28 to go. Natalie, I feel like we're trying to catch our breaths over here. This has been an up and down affair so far.
Exactly. It's turned into quite the track meet.
How about the find there from McGill? This is what you got to like to see with Coach McElveen. You get your front court of Darius Balaam, Tony McGill, Kaz Williams, when they start moving the rock selflessly, right, just slowing it down, taking what the defense will give you instead of trying to force it, you get yourself an opportunity to head to the strike. As Kaz Williams will look to find his 2 first points of the night. Again, these free throws brought to you Holy Sitting in air, and he's able to get the first off the back iron.
Yeah, and we've talked about the identity that this Fort Dorchester team is still working to establish, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, identity is something that it doesn't transform overnight. Sometimes it takes a few seasons and a few weeks into the year, but they often, at least what Coach McElveen told you and I, Jack, is that they wait to see what they're given and then they respond. So they're not going to be a team that's going to come out full force, pressure you. They're going to take what often the other side gives you. And sometimes that's the best way to go, because you learn in terms of what you do in different situations.
Absolutely. That foul going to be charged on number 2, Tony McGill. Lavelle Mine is heading to the line. That's his 4th point of the night. This free throw's brought to you by Holy Sitting there. Lavelle Minus, I'm telling you, 6'5", that's a sophomore, folks. 205 pounds. He doesn't look it, and he sure as heck doesn't play it. He's been impressive so far this evening. He's able to get both, 2 for 2 from the line. He's got 5 tonight as the freshman Kendall Mack's going to check back in. Freshman. A lot of praise from Coach George Jenkins. Kendall Brown, he's averaging 4 points per game, but he's a freshman point guard. And he's really starting to come into his own. Coach Jenkins really kind of alluded to the fact that the game's slowing down for him. He's always been able to shoot the rock, but he's been asked a lot because he's a freshman point guard.
And this is one of those guys that are the future of the program. So, and you see it right there. Jenkins is going to get in your face because he wants to form great habits with these guys when they're young. So then by the time they're juniors, seniors, they know what is expected of them. And not only do they know, they're able to go out and actually convert and do exactly what the game plan entails. So it's going to be awesome to see guys like Kendall Mack and guys like Damani White, who they're able to become as players down the line.
Again, hardly time to breathe. Fort Dorchester on the run. But the big block. Nope, they're going to call it a foul. Lavelle Mine is charged with his first. Going to send Darius Bellum to the free throw line.
I don't think he's happy with that. I don't think the crowd is happy with that. I'm looking at the student section right now, and a lot of them with their hands up in the air, still confused about that call. That's a tough one.
See Lavelle Mine is upset with it. These replays brought to you by David Taylor Law Offices. But it's interesting now that you see Coach Jenkins, he's upset with the call as Fort Dorchester.
He's a man that you don't see take a seat very often. He's walking up and down that sideline all game.
We talk about the former Burke standout. I think sometimes he wishes he was lacing up and playing tonight as Tyler Point short. There's Bale with a rebound as Kaz Williams looks to push into transition. West Ashley with 5 back, but still, these guards from Fort Dorchester pressing and pressing at all will. As again, Tyler Point transition gets it to fall. Those are 2 easy ones. That's his 6th of the night.
2 easy ones. That was exhausting just watching that play transpire, Jack.
It looked a little like football, a scrum on the field, but at Fast Break brought to you by Low Country Crawl Spaces, building relationships that last. Nick Pickering, nice little pack. Balin, Brandon Moore, back to Pickering. Got to get the big man involved. His vision on the floor is what separates him from the pack. It's a nice assist. Kaz Williams. Those are his first 3 of the night.
Yeah, that's a great find by Nick Pickering. You saw 3 guys collapse on him in the paint there, kicked it out to his friend, so he was able to knock down the shot, but here comes West Ashley, able to respond quickly.
Right back out of those points that they brought to you by West Shore Home. That's a scary duo. Well, Lavelle Minus on the outside, the sophomore, finds the freshman Kendall Mack. Mack's already got 5 this evening. Both those guys can't even drive to the gym tonight, and they're making quite the impact already in this one. Tyler Poit comes down the rebound to find Minus in the quarter again. When you look at this West Ashley team, Natalie, you can see why as Nick Pickering's going to get charged with his foul. Damani White slow to get up. Say he wasn't set. You check out the Cruz Chevrolet replay here. And I'd say it was acting, but when you run into 6'1", 225, there were a lot of offensive linemen that felt the same way playing against Nick Pickering this fall.
And Jenkins calls him a super freshman. He doesn't even think he's a freshman, and you can see that by the way he's playing tonight. But he says this is a guy that's getting stronger. And I'd say those are probably the good instances where you do get a little stronger when you run into an absolute brick wall.
Yeah, you can see there. He's like, Coach, I swear, foot was set. Especially with defenders, too. You use that foot as the sideline. It's an extra defender. Is Damani White able to knock down the first of the Holy City Heating and Air free throws. That's his 5th. But you start to mention these names. Damani White, a freshman. Deshaun Gapers, a sophomore. Lavelle Minus, a sophomore. Kendall Mack, a freshman. These are guys that they're going to build around, pillars of this program for the next 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, I think so too. And then I want to go back to the seniors like Tyler Point we mentioned in the open, and then Jerome Simmons, guys who have been a part of this program for years now and setting the foundation for these guys, becoming leaders in the fact that they've got a lot of young guys looking up to them and showing them the ropes. And it's great to see these young guys perform at such a high level, knowing they've got seniors that are able to show them how it's done.
Absolutely, we haven't mentioned this upperclassman. How about J.R. Wilson, the top of that 1-3-1 zone there? Quick, athletic forward, the junior, standing 5'10", standing in the corner wing. He's a guy that Coach Jenkins mentioned. He's a high motor athlete, and he's kind of a glue guy for West Ashley in the sense that he can do a little bit of everything. How about the miss? Put back. Yes, sir. Camden Howard, the senior, gets it to fall. Those are his first 3 of the night, or first 2 points of the night, and it comes off an offensive rebound for West Ashley. Not stopping with a 19-point lead, but that's the stuff you like to see there. You're up 19. Coach Jenkins fired up. So we're going to head to a media timeout. We're going to let West Ashley's energy and juice picking up their fallen soldier as we're going to head to break. West Ashley's 36, Fort Dorchester 17.
Thanks to our anchor sponsors here at West Ashley High School have our covered. For car insurance and homeowners insurance, check out Zach Dole's State Farm. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, Bristol Real Estate. Any HVAC needs, heating and cooling for your home, Anchor Heating and Air has you covered. And if you want to enjoy a nice evening out with good music and good food, Southside 17.
I've got a captain the boat, and I'm going really fast right now, and I don't know why. Yeah, no, you're good. This is on me. I think I'm steering us fast right now. I need to slow down. Do a better job setting you up.
I mean, it's definitely a track meet game.
Yeah, so it's
There's not much like X's and O's going on here.
Welcome back to the Low Country. It's My TV Charleston's High School Hoops, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. As we take a good look at the man running that West Ashley program, and he's doing a dang good job at it. It's Coach George Jenkins, and he's got his guys out to a commanding 36-17 lead with just 3:39 to go. Natalie, we've talked about it a couple times, but we spoke with Coach Jenkins And he kept mentioning the 4 things, almost dodgeball, right? The 4 Ds of dodgeballs. For him, those 4 keys, we've seen a lot of them. Free throws, rebounds, making layups, and no turning the ball over. In the second quarter, they've done a lot better job of that 4th emphasis.
Yeah, it's that attention to detail that he says he learned from his guy Earl Brown back during his Burke days. He says Brown is a guy who just focuses on having that mental edge over teams that they would face, and a lot of that has to do with having attention to detail. And the details are those turnovers, those rebounds, those preventing turnovers, the little things that give you that edge above your opponent.
Absolutely. Tyler Point unable to get a fall, but it's Cam Brown on the offensive rebound and putback. Those are his 4th points tonight. All 4 coming off offensive rebounds. We mentioned a lot of young guns. Cam Brown, another sophomore that's long and lanky, that Coach Jenkins is really high on as well. Take a good look at Coach McElveen. Got to be a little bit upset about the start, but Coach McElveen, the Coach John McKissick Memorial Coach of the Year last year in the entire Low Country. We all know how incredible a coach he is. We've seen the slow start from Fort Dorchester, but Natalie, sometimes you get some of your greatest coaching experiences and adventures. As you see, he's a little upset with the turnover there. But he is. He wasn't the Coach of the Year last year for no reason. He took his team for a state championship, but this may be his biggest task yet. Getting these young guys to grow up. You mentioned being more role-oriented. Can you kind of explain more to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's basketball is one of those sports where, yes, you all play as one on the court, but there's instances where you've got a shooter, you've got a guy that's a lockdown defender. Everyone plays their role to create this bigger picture that is basketball. And he says, look, I've got a lot of young guys that might think they're one thing, but I want them to be another thing. And coaches usually have a pretty good perspective when it comes to what players can do what really well, even if players you don't always think. Like, I know a lot of people, they want to be the guy that shoots the threes. Threes are always more fun to shoot than 2s. I mean, why would you shoot a 2 when you can shoot a 3? That's always what I had always thought growing up. But that doesn't necessarily need to be your role. Sometimes your role needs to be, you're going to get a rebound every single time you crash the boards. And just knowing that that is your role is something that you need to be dedicated to.
How about a sophomore? Cam Brown. Those West Shore points of the paint brought to you by West Shore Home. We got another one. It's a track meet, folks. Kendall Mack unable to get a fall, but another rebound from Cam Brown. He's all over the floor so far for the Wildcats, as he's got 6 early ones. Have been really impressed by the young sophomore's length tonight, Natalie.
Yeah, just so much potential.
We joked about it with Coach Jenkins. He's got a couple of young guys that can really get up and dunk the basketball. Cam Brown, Lavelle Minus. He's pleading for these guys. Go play above the rim. We see you do it in practice. We see you dunk on your teammates all the time. He's pleading for his guys to go play above the rim, play with that confidence. Cam Brown, Lavelle Minus have been all over the rim in the basket so far tonight, as Fort Dorchester with what seems to be their 10th turnover in the first half already, as West Ashley extends to a 40-17 lead with just under 2 to play. And I think Fort Dorchester again, Cam Brown.
What a beautiful find. That's called having eyes on the back of your head, and smart play by Cameron Brown, the sophomore. We've been saying his name all night, but a beautiful cut to the back door, and here again.
Oh, Kendall Mack unable to finish, because Damani White is absolutely throwing dimes out here. The freshman, not playing like a freshman, playing like a veteran senior with some of these finds. Almost as good as the find from Tony McGill. He's able to find Kyrie Bea for his 4th tonight. I think Tony McGill is the guy that Coach McElveen's pleading for. He's got, he's averaging 2 assists per game that leads the team. But he stepped into this position that, Coach McElveen's had to be really hard on him. While we're talking about Kyrie Bea and Tony McGill, Cam Brown just busy scoring. That's his 10th, leading all scorers here in the first half. But Coach McElveen needs Tony McGill to be the guy to slow things down in region play, in order for them to secure a couple dubs. I think when he's able to do so, play that point guard position with a whole lot of confidence, this team will respond and play to the identity of their captain and leader.
Yeah, that West Ashley bench all smiles, and I'm thinking best case scenario right now for this Fort Dorchester team is just get into the locker room, fix some things, but it's situations like this where you look and you're like, it's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly one or two things that's just not going your way. So I'll be interested to see the adjustments that head coach Thomas McElveen make.
Absolutely. With just 15 to go, Damani White. How about another one? Maddox Clyburn, his second three of the game.
He's got a pretty shot.
Him and Damani White are feeling it with each other. Coach Jenkins fired up. That's another turnover for Fort Dorchester. We've talked about the miscues on the other sidelines, but West Ashley, it seems like they're making all the right passes, and Maddox Clyburn makes them pay for it. And at the end of the half, Damani White unable to get to the long half-court shot to go. Coach Jenkins says, hey, boys, let's get halftime. As they, with maybe their best half of basketball this year, Fort Dorchester trails mightily. West Ashley 47, Fort Dorchester 15. Stay tuned as we'll come back with our David Ayler Law Office Scholar Athletes of the Week as we head to break and a halftime report. Yes, sir.
Break, 2-minute break, and then we're going to do his. So if he wants to come here instead, we're going to do it right here.
Welcome back to My TV Charleston's High School Hoops Game of the Week, brought to you by Cruz Chevrolet. You got a friend in the car business. Ladies and gentlemen, each week David Ayler Law Offices and Riders Law Group is proud to highlight a scholar athlete from each participating school. The students selected will have an opportunity to win a $2,500 scholarship at the end of the season. Over the last 7 seasons, David Ayler Law Office have donated almost $50,000 in scholarships. Tonight's scholar athletes are the first over on the Fort Dorchester High School sideline. It's Brandon Moore. How about that GPA? 4.59. Stud basketball player, a member of that second place state champion, lower state championship team last year. Brandon Moore, a 2-year varsity player. In the community, he's a member of the Distinguished Gentlemen's Club. Shout out and kudos to you, Brandon Moore. I didn't know a GPA could go that high. A stellar student, a stellar athlete. Shout out to Brandon Moore. And from West Ashley High School, we're going to go take a look at Mary Catherine Smoke with a 4.4 GPA. Mary Catherine, a member of the soccer team here at West Ashley. She's also a member of the National Honor Society, student ambassador at West Ashley High School. She's also received a white coat here at West Ashley for biomedical science and a sports medicine completer in this high school diploma. She's been a member of the West Ashley soccer team for 4 years and a captain for 2. She was the defensive MVP last year, and her accolades go on and on. In the community, she's a team member of Leukemia Lymphoma Society and helped raise over $40,000 for the Low Country, which placed her second in Charleston County. Volunteer for the Cooper River Bridge Run for Kids and a volunteer for Charleston Half Marathon. We're looking at 2 incredible student athletes, so shout out and kudos to you, Mary Catherine Smoke, as we give a huge shout out to David Ayler Law Office for our 2 Scholar Athletes of the Week. Stay tuned live here at halftime. Again, West Ashley leads 47-19 as we head to break, and we'll be back with our interview with West Ashley principal.
What's going on, man? We've got a few minutes. Basically, so far,
Ryan Comeback. R-Y-A-N-C-U-M. Yep, C-U-M-B-A-C-K. Okay, perfect.
Welcome back to West Ashley High School. We are halfway through our third week of high school hoops. West Ashley on top 47 to the Fort Dorchester Patriots with 19. And Natalie Spalla here along the sideline with the principal of West Ashley High School, Ryan Comeback. Coach, thank you so much for joining us first and foremost.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thoughts on the game so far? A commanding half by your West Ashley Wildcats.
Yeah, kids look great. Been really impressed watching them play together the last few weeks. They're coming together as a unit, and here we are, 47-19 at half.
And you look around this environment, West Ashley is known for their environment here for Friday nights, really any day of the week that games are taking place. What does it mean to have your student section come out, the fans come out, and really create this atmosphere?
This is what we've been trying to build on the last 4 years, just building that climate, that culture. The kids are excited to come to the game. We had a great pep rally today. Happy to see all the kids out, and it's just the environment that we're trying to build here.
And West Ashley is, of course, a historic program within the Low Country community. But for people who aren't as familiar of what happens here at West Ashley, not just on the playing field, but also in the classrooms, talk to me about what is really the identity of this West Ashley school. West
Ashley is textbook neighborhood high school. We have everything for everyone. You know, our size allows us to offer every academic course offering that you could ask for, every athletic offering that you could ask for, every club and activity, and everything in between. So, you know, we're building that community high school feeling here, and it's exciting.
Awesome, Coach.
Proud to be a part of it.
Awesome. Well, we're happy to have you with us here today. Thank you so much. Again, Ryan Comeback, principal over here at West Ashley High School. And we still got basketball to get to tonight. We'll be right back here in just a few minutes. We're doing highlights right now. What? Not right now, but
okay, cool.
In like a few seconds.
Sweet.
We just went to break.
How'd it go?
Yeah, it was fine. Those go so quickly. I don't know why I always think they're longer than they actually are.
Yeah, a minute's really not that long.
Lots of highlights. Gosh, that was a quick half. Oh, I think about 5 minutes.
It was a really quick half.
Jeez. Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Vince.
I was like, gosh, I need a second.
Fort D needs a second. That's a quick half of basketball.
That was.
You could say.
Not really.
I was going to say.
We started at 8:30.
Really. A lot of start and stop.
Aw, you know Sorrel? He's the best. Sorrel says hi. Yeah, tell him we say hi.
Welcome back into my TV Charleston High School hoop, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Jack DeLongshall sitting courtside with Natalie Spalla. Natalie, it was all West Ashley all the time in that first half.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Lots of offense, but lots of defense on their side as well. They were making things hard for that Fort Dorchester offense to really get into their groove. But when Fort did, they had to move that ball around, get all guys in on every single play. So Fort Dorchester able to get 19 points out of that first half. But West Ashley, like you mentioned, Jack, everywhere. Inside the paint, outside the paint, able to knock down big shot from the corners. And the freshman, we've been getting in on Damani White all day saying his name, and he's been everywhere for this team.
You know, as we take a look at a lot of these highlights, a lot of them coming on the offensive glass for West Ashley. Their ability to crash the glass on the offensive side of the ball was the difference maker, which allowed a lot of open threes. You know, as we're getting ready to head back for our last break before we kick things off in the third quarter, My TV Hoops brought to you by Cruz Chevrolet. Again, West Ashley playing host to Fort Dorchester. Make sure to come back and join us. As we're getting to go underway, we wanted to show you Coach George Jenkins. 47 first half points for his West Ashley Wildcats. There he is. That's tops of the low country. Again, Mike TV, Charleston High School hoops driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Jack DeLongshall sitting courtside with Natalie Spalla. Natalie, Fort Dorchester's inability to take care of the basketball created a lot of transition points for West Ashley. How are the Wildcats able to take advantage of that? Because, boy, it just seemed like they never missed.
I think really just the energy of this West Ashley team is contagious, and it's also hard to really combat. And you look at head coach George Jenkins over there, he carries that towel with him, carries the water with him. You barely see the man sit down, and he gives it 100%, and that is exactly what he wants from his players and what his players have given him so far with one half of basketball, Jack.
You know, as we get this second half underway, you know, we were here 4 or 5 hours ago getting set up with our incredible staff and crew here that make this entire event possible. But Coach Jenkins was sitting courtside for the JV game, sitting courtside for the varsity girls game that took place right before this one. And I'm telling you, he's just as energetic, enthusiastic about every game that's taken place. He's completely bought into the entire West Ashley culture. You know, when we talked to him this week, it was really important to him to try to bring back relevancy of hoops in the Charleston Low Country area. It's become an overall consensus theme with really all the coaches that we've talked about. Seems like there's a certain level of, not necessarily disrespect, but people forget about the stellar talent down here. As we get this thing underway with a whole lot of talent, number 4, Tyler Point, lead ball handler, who's had 6 early points in the first half and really kind of commanded the way.
Yeah, there is so much talent here in the Low Country, and we're just honored to be able to share all of these impressive players every Friday night here in January and into the February months of this season. And it's interesting talking to head coach George Jenkins, because he just has such a smile on his face talking about this team. And how can you not when you've got players out here putting it all on the line?
Absolutely. 49-19 with 7 to go. They're up 30 points and still in a full court press. Deshaun Capers with 8 already. You got that nice little sweet left-handed move as Kyrie Bea loses the ball underneath the basket. Now it looks like it's going to stay with Fort Dorchester, but a 30-point lead. Game might seem out of reach. There's a lot of ball game left to be played. If you're Fort Dorchester, what do you think Coach McElveen told him in the locker room at halftime? Is it just a complete flush, 0-0, go out and get them, or kind of how do they get back in the game, Matt?
I think he told them to take a breath, relax. We had talked about the fact that this team is one that is still trying to figure out what they are all about. So often when they approach games like this, they don't really have much of a game plan. They wait and see what the other team does, and then they respond accordingly. And, whoa, that was almost a exquisite basket by Damani White. But yeah, with Fort Dorchester, I think the issue right now is there's a lot of errors that they are bringing upon themselves. Yes, West Ashley is making things hard for them, but slow the game down. Get some passes in there. We're seeing a lot of these uncharacteristic cross-court passes, trying to get it into the paint. Passes that are often not going to get there if you see a team like West Ashley playing defense on you. So sometimes it's just being smart and taking what the defense gives you is what they need to be doing.
Tyler Point takes it to the defense. He goes right at our scholar athlete. Brandon Moore was playing pretty good defense. Tyler Point just a little bit better. Those are his 8 points of the game as Lavelle Minus with the steal. Sean Capers out in transition. He finds the freshman Donnie White in the corner, unable to get it to go, but Lavelle Minus there to clean it up. Those are his 8 points of the game. You look at the scoring from West Ashley, equally distributed. Those are another big 2 West Shore home points in the paint, though.
Sometimes it pays to be 6'5". You see the clear advantage there with the height as Lavelle Minus again looking to get height on that potential block, but he's going to be called for the foul.
Absolutely. You can see he's starting to feel that confidence. One of those guys that Coach Jenkins mentioned. I want to see this guy go play above the rim. And if there's anybody that knows how to go play above the rim, it's this guy. Number 1, Darius Balaam, a junior, 6'1", 180. As he knocks down the first of the Will Lou Gray Opportunity School free throws, a rich tradition of individualized learning. You know, Darius Balaam's a guy. He's averaging 8, 4, and 2. He's a football standout. He just played in the South Carolina football All-State All-Star game. He's a wide receiver, and it really has translated on the court for him.
Yeah, regardless of wins, losses, this is a team full of athletes, and Darius Balaam proves to be exactly what this Fort Dorchester team is all about. He's a guy that can play on the wing, he can play down low, he can really do whatever you need him to do.
That errant three. A nice pass from Tyler Point, but Lavelle Minus misses everything. But Deshaun Capers, no quit. Goes right up out of it. How about the block from Tony McGill? He stays straight up, great disciplined defense. That's a huge block as Fort Dorchester able to turn it the other way. And there's the guy that we were just mentioning. Darius Balaam. He looked like a 3-star receiver right there.
Now these are the plays that if Fort Dorchester can kind of string together these, you see it happen on defense there. Tony McGill getting an error on that. They're able to get the ball, take it all the way down court. Some beautiful passes and laying it in off the backboard to get 2 on the board and 2 points that this Fort Dorchester team needed. So if they can just string together some plays like that where you see the defense transition into that offense, then that might be the bread and butter this second half.
Absolutely. He's unable to knock down the free throw. That fast break brought to you by Low Country Crawl Spaces, building relationships that last. Darius Balaam, usually seen catching passes from Zoltan Osborne on the gridiron, but a nice pass from Tony McGill there. I'm telling you, I think this is the guy, McGill. Coach McElveen mentioned he's really hard on the young man. As you see him, selfless play, letting it all hang out. Jaquan Walker with the left hand, but it's blocked from Deshaun Capers. Capers, the block, the pass, and the dunk. Finished by the big fella, Lavelle Minus. I don't know what was prettier, the block on one end or the dunk on the other. Boy, are these youngsters showing out for the Wildcats this evening.
Yeah, I think if you would ask the student section, probably the dunk. I think that's what they like. But I personally like George Jenkins over there pointing to his team to get back on defense after that dunk. He wastes no time with the celebration, but my gosh.
Get up and show it off, young man. How about a sophomore?
I was going to say the flex at the end. Ooh.
That camo crowd, they made their presence felt. They were fired up for the youngster. But I'm telling you, the dunk is nice. As Jaquan Walker will knock down both of the Will Lou Gray free throws. Dunk was nice, but Deshaun Capers, who's been absolutely all over the floor in this second half, with the block and the offhanded left-handed pass to feed the big fella, really, really impressive as well as Fort's able to corral a rebound and push it the other way is Tony McGill. Colin Shepard trying to find Balaam, unable to hit him. Who is it? Yeah, it's Capers again, trying to push and force the envelope with the left hand.
Wow.
Yes, sir. That's 10 for Capers.
Yeah, West Ashley is just saying it doesn't matter which way we get it done, we will get it done. Whether that's pushing the ball in transition, whether it's setting up a play and finding a guy on the outside who can knock down a big shot, or whether it's Deshaun Capers that says, hey, I'll get to the paint, I worked hard, might as well finish it off with a bucket.
You know, we mentioned a lot of these young guys. Natalie, is see David Ayler's replay bug there. Capers is a guy, 6'2", sophomore. He plays almost bigger than 6'2". I'm sure he's got a lot of growing to do. But we've mentioned a lot of youngsters, Damani White, Lavelle Minus obviously with the big one there, Kendall Mack, with a lot of quick 6 points in the first half. But Capers, I think, is one of those guys for Coach Jenkins. Like, I could think he could see him being a real roll and glue guy for him moving forward. A point forward that can handle the rock, bring it up and down the floor, guard positions 1 through 4, and in the second half, he's really been all over the floor.
Yeah, and you can say this about so many players over there on West Ashley. Just so much potential, and it's exciting to see when you're so young. And Capers is a guy that Jenkins says keeps a level head, and those are the best leaders on the team.
Yeah, level head, but he did. He got a little bit too excited there, unable to get it down as West Ashley 57, Fort Dorchester 26 with just 3:51 to play. We're going to take our first immediate timeout of the second half. No, I think we're going to keep rolling with it. Now we're going to head off to break. West Ashley all the time. Thanks to the help of the Sean Capers and Coach Jenkins. Make sure to come check us out as we're heading to break. Welcome back to West Ashley High School here in the Low Country. It's My TV Charleston's High School Hoops, driven by Cruz Chevrolet on Rivers. You've got a friend of the car business. As we take a look at Coach Thomas McElveen, we got a little quick word with his assistant coach. That's Jordan McElveen. That's his son. Low Country basketball standout. Played his college ball at Catawba Valley. A really skilled player, could score at really any level. He's a big-time player, and he's a big-time asset. Coach McElveen's bench is he's got a bright future in the coaching world. It's Colin Shepard, or Turner, from last year's lower state championship team. I don't know if he gets a fall, but how about the foul? Or, excuse me. He gets the steal and then fouled underneath the basket. They're going to have that on the floor, but Colin Shepard, a 3-and-D type guy for Fort Dorchester, not going to quit. Not until the fat lady sings as this ball's going to be underneath the basket. But you mentioned this team, the turnover. Only 3 returners from last year to this year, Natalie. Talk to me about just kind of the struggles. You mentioned, you look at West Ashley, a guy like Tyler Point, the senior, is able to coach up young guards like Kendall Mack and Damani White. On Fort Dorchester, you don't really necessarily have that luxury, not a ton of returners to be able to guide and lead those young men. Yeah, and I think when we always ask the head coaches coming into our broadcast games, what do you think a game plan is? Just whether that's X's and O's, or how do you look at the team that's going to be across from you? And head coach Thomas McElveen, he said, look, we don't know anything about West Ashley. We don't really know anything about any team in the Low Country because we're not paying attention to any team this year. And maybe that wasn't the same for years past when you scout, when you look at video, when you kind of keep tabs on everything that's going on around you. But he said we are focusing on ourselves this year. We don't have time to really focus on what other teams are doing because we have so much to work on ourselves. So I think just that mindset and that mentality
that shows how much this team still has to work to get to where they were last year, and that's okay.
Absolutely, and it's a testament to how good a coach Coach McElveen really is. Saw Colin Shepard knock down both of those Will Lou Gray free throws as Jaden Sanders checked in for West Ashley during that time as well, as West Ashley looks to build in a half-court set. Now, when you've got a comfortable 29-point lead, you don't pull back on the reins, but for a team that's really trying to make a push and to get into the playoffs, as Sanders unable to get it to fall, use this time to try to get back into play. As Tony McGill up and under, unable to get it to fall, as they're going to get that foul on Kendall Mack. He's first, as Tony McGill looked to knock down 2 Will Lou Gray free throws. But we mentioned in this region where there's Somerville, who's kind of implanted themselves at the top of the region. Ashley Ridge has been a very formidable opponent. There's still a playoff spot up for grabs, and both of these teams very much so in the mix of that.
Exactly, and you had mentioned the fact you don't want to let up on the reins even with a hefty lead like this, but I think this is a time to fine-tune things that aren't exactly going your way, and whether that's in this game or games in the past. But we have seen, of course, West Ashley is a run-and-gun team. We've seen them be so successful tonight in terms of pushing up the court, getting those transition buckets, penetrating deep in the paint, and then being able to kick out. But maybe this is a chance to run some sets, maybe fine-tune some things that you want to see your guys be able to do out on the court. This is a good opportunity for that, considering you're up a hefty margin.
Absolutely. Tony McGill knocks down one of the Will Lou Gray free throws. That'll be West Ashley's possession. I believe it was an errant buzzer there as Fort Dorchester looks to press. You've seen West Ashley play 11 guys tonight. There's a deep bench, young guys, who wants to get a lot of guys experience. Both of these coaches have pulled players up from the junior varsity team to get some time. How about the fine from Tyler Point? Finished by yours truly. It's been a lot of Deshaun Capers in the second half, but the fine from Tyler Point there, really pretty. As West Ashley sits back in that 1-3-1 defense. Balaam goes to work down low, and Capers there for the double team. He's going to get wrapped up, and he's going to be fouled by Tyler Point, his second of the evening. So Camden Howard a little upset. Thought he had a block maybe there. Camden Howard, the 6'5", 205-pound senior. As Darius Balaam's going to head to the line and look to knock down 2 Will Lou Gray free throws. A rich tradition of individualized learning. Balaam knocks down the first. See Coach Jenkins. Regardless of the score, Nally, I know Coach Jenkins is not going to pull up. He's going to act like he's going to get in these officials' ears as we cue it up there perfectly. He is not going to stop until that last buzzer rings.
No, and you mentioned the JV game before this game and the girls game before this game. You would think that he was a coach on both of those teams, the way he was sitting along the sideline, but wasn't doing much sitting, actually. He was up and down active along that sideline, very invested in all of these programs here at West Ashley. Just wants to see everyone succeed, and what more could you ask for from a coach in this program?
These two are playing really clean basketball. It's been a lot of Deshaun Capers and Tyler Point this evening. It's Colin Shepard, long on the corner 3. A really nice find from Capers and Point. It's like they're playing a back and forth game. Maddox Clyburn takes a hard fall, slow to get up. Nice little push up as he gets back to his feet. The hard foul is going to send him to the line. That foul on Darius Balaam. That's his second of the evening. As Maddox Clyburn looks to head to the line, extend his point total as he knocks down the first of the Will Lou Gray free throws. He's got a really clean jump shot, the junior. Clyburn, a really pretty jumper. You saw the 3 early. He's got 2 of them in this ball game. Natalie, what you like about the young shooter?
I really, of course, his ability to shoot, like you alluded to, but also just his high IQ. You've seen him several times. Yes, he knows when he's got an open shot and when to knock it down, but he also knows when to make that extra pass. He knows when he doesn't have, or maybe he has a good shot, but he knows how to create a great shot. And sometimes that's dishing to one more extra pass or taking a few dribbles into the paint and then dishing out. So just a high IQ guy you love to have on your team.
Absolutely. Tyler Point secures the steal there with just a minute 30 left in the third quarter. West Ashley leads 63-30.
Look at Jenkins over there.
You can see
He just wanted him to shoot it, make a decision.
That's a broadcaster
that's
jinx.
funny.
He wanted his shooter to let it rip. No hesitation out of the junior. He wanted him to go, but I'm telling you, 63-30, commanding lead as third quarter is dwindling down. And Coach Jenkins, you would have no idea if his team was up 30 or down 30 at this point.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, pioneering and captainship. George Jenkins, we mentioned, state champion as a player when he was a Burke standout back in 1996. Played for the legendary Low Country coach Tony Brown. This is just his second year at West Ashley, but his first as the head coach. And boy, he's got a lot of young talent. You got to be really excited about what's happening out here at West Ashley High School. Colin Shepard dishes, drives. He's going to be fouled by Camden Howard. He's going to be fouled by the big fella, Camden Howard. Colin Shepard heads the line. Shepard with 5 tonight. He misses the first. Gets the steal right back, goes right back up, unable to finish, and this one's going to stay with Fort Dorchester. Natalie, I feel like an offensive glass has been a bugaboo for both teams this season.
Yep, I was just thinking that, Jack, and you kind of see it with Colin Shepard right there. He just put his head back like, my gosh, can I get one to roll in? And at this point, you kind of want them to. Rooting for this Fort Dorchester team a bit because they've had some open looks. I mean, granted, West Ashley has made it so tough for them, this stifling, suffocating defense, but the shots West Ashley, or rather Fort Dorchester, has been able to get up, some of them have just rolled off the rim, just unlucky, but they're able to get 2 out of there.
There's Kyrie Bryan on the offensive putback. You saw Colin Shepard with a really nice head fake. Tony McGill unable to get in the fall. We'll call it an assist, though. How about that? Well, how about the behind the back hesitation? Go ahead, Delonte White. The freshman.
I think he liked that one.
The big league move there, huh?
Yeah.
Just 6 to play. Fort Dorchester, I don't think they're aware of the shot clock. Tony McGill, Taz Williams playing a little game of hot potato. Wow. Tony McGill able to get it and fall after the buzzer. Maybe a little morale as we head to the fourth quarter. Was a lot of Deshaun Capers. But how about a dunk from Lavelle Midas? As we head to break, we get ready for our final quarter here from West Ashley High School.
What? Oh, well, you said it once, and I thought you were talking about Tony McGill.
Yeah.
Oh, you wanted me to just say it? What?
Who's the North Charleston coach last week?
North Charleston last week? Can I remember? Aaron Gibbons Thompson was. Dude, what can I remember? Wait, I'm actually concerned. Why can't I remember? I have to look. Tony Eady. You're right. Okay, that's what it is. I'm not going to say that.
Welcome back to West Ashley High School. Mike TV Charleston High School Hoops brought to you by Cruise Chevrolet on Rivers. You got a friend of the car business. As we check out Coach Thomas McElveen, his team trails by 33 here in the fourth quarter. Fort Dorchester getting a big quarter. Not so much to get back in the game as this one feels out of hand. As Nick Pickering, a nice little running floater, his 4th point of the night, brought to you by West Shore Home. But now more so, I think, for Fort Dorchester, a big quarter here. Morale as they head into the second half of region play.
Yeah, I'd love to see this team really slow things down. We've seen West Ashley become a problem for them on the defensive end of the ball, and I want to see them be able to make some passes, move things around, kind of just take a breath, like we mentioned a little bit earlier.
Absolutely. You see West Ashley with a fresh 5 in. Some names you haven't seen yet tonight. Cam Hunter checking in. Jerome Simmons checking in. It's Kaz Williams. Nice little head fake. So he's going to draw himself a Holy City Heating and Air free throw. Nice little pump fake to get Jerome Simmons up there. That's his first foul. Kaz Williams, 3 points tonight. Looking to make it 5, but see Jerome Simmons there, 6'4", 225. It's a big fella. He kind of anchors down that defense when he checks in the ballgame.
Yeah, exactly right. And give credit to Kaz Williams on this play. I mean, you drive to the basket. You're patient. You're waiting for your defenders to get up in the air for them to then you get up, draw the foul, and then you make it easy for yourself on the free throw line.
Absolutely. You see Brian Gonzalez, the senior, checking in for Fort Dorchester now. Gonzalez checking in for the first time as we see Jerome Simmons exiting stage left. Kaz Williams able to knock down both the Holy City Heating and Air free throws. Reminder, they provide solutions for every season. As we see West Ashley bringing up the court. It's a young group out on the floor as we see Andrew Jackson checking in the turnover. How about the dish from Williams to McGill? McGill able to knock down. The fast break brought to you by Low Country Crawl Spaces. McGill just 3 points tonight, but like we mentioned, leading the team in assists. Bang!
And just all day long, West Ashley with that answer.
Every time Fort Dorchester's built some momentum tonight, West Ashley just snatches it right back. That time by J.R. Wilson with a 3. His first points of the evening. It's McGill unable to get the 3 fall. Let's take a look at last 3-point shot. The assist from Damani White. Wilson in the corner.
And I mean, defense was able to get out on him, just not quick enough. He was wide open for just probably a second too long, because Fort Dorchester, give them credit, they have been relatively active, very active on defense with active hands, moving their feet. Just better offense that time.
Absolutely. See Andrew Jackson trying to make a move to the basket, but Nick Pickering with a nice defensive play gets his hand in there as we say jump ball. The big fella Pickering, 6 feet, 225 pounds, we mentioned. You know, what I really like about Pickering's game, he's averaging 6 points and 4 rebounds a game, but he's doing it at a really efficient rate. He's shooting 54% from the floor. You know, you like to see him down on the block, but it's really efficient numbers from the big fella. See West Ashley doing a nice job moving him around. Frees up Damani White. He's shocked he couldn't get it to fall.
What a rebound.
But Andrew Jackson, the offensive rebound, can't get the putback to fall. As McGill's out in transition, up and down. He gets another back-to-back possessions from Tony McGill as he's got 5 on the evening now.
Yeah, that's a strong possession. A strong fight to get that ball in the basket.
Yeah, we got to say this. West Ashley moving the ball well as Pickering. No stop from him. The steal, the finish on the other end. Ooh, the up and under, unable to get it. Allows Brian Gonzalez to come in and clean up the miss. So he'll head to the line.
Yeah, Pickering doesn't move like he's 225 pounds and 6 feet tall. That's for sure.
No. Terrified for opposing Low Country offensive linemen to try to get in the big fella's way, but he can handle himself on the hardwood as you see Brian Gonzalez looking to knock down 2 Holy City Heating and Air free throws. But, you know, Natalie, kudos to the West Ashley student section. You know, you got to talk to the principal, think about some of the incredible individuals around this program. The baseball program, Coach Tyson Azevedo, what he's been able to do with their program geared up. This student section showed up loud and proud tonight. You know, it may have because the Friday night high school hoop lights were in the building, but their camo was loud. They were energetic, and they've had a lot to cheer about tonight.
I just wish I could see them. Sorry, I had to say that once.
How long have you been trying to work in that pond?
I've been waiting patiently, Jack, and you finally gave it to me with 5 minutes left in this game.
It was the perfect time.
You just have to when it's a camo night. You got to just crack the joke, and everyone's probably rolling their eyes back at home saying, geez, Nat. Moving on.
I like it.
Thank you.
I think the camo's fired up that they see Lavelle Minus and Kendall Mack checking back in. I think they want some more fireworks out of the underclassmen.
Lots to cheer for tonight.
Pickering in transition again. His 6th of the evening, but back the other way. No question about it. That's going to be a travel on Deshaun Capers. Coach Jenkins right there with you. I think you just saw a beach ball here. Eyes lit up. As you see, Kaz William with a nice little no-look dish to the big fella. Natalie, I know you liked it in doing our prep work this week. You loved it, Nick Pickering's nickname.
Yeah, Coach said Butter was one of them, but he also said he's got another one, but he doesn't like, Pickering doesn't like when he gets called, I believe it was Big Thumper, right?
Big Thumper?
Big Thumper.
I think Butter works better. We saw on the social media. That was his social media page.
Oh, well, then that's the nickname we got to go with.
Absolutely. It's Lavelle Minus. Those are 2 more West Shore home points in the paint.
Yeah, Pickering moves
Proud
like
sponsor.
butter. Smart guy down there.
Yeah, he does. It's the footwork, right?
The footwork.
How about Jaquan Walker? That's a big 3. That's 5 for Walker. Nice pass from Pickering as he's able to find a wide open Walker as they're able to cut into lead. 70-46 West Ashley with just under 4 to play. Capers on the other end. The left hand can't get it to fall. Kicks out to Damani White. He'll slow things down.
Yeah, just getting a good shot right now. Not
Absolutely.
being careless with the ball.
As we see Jordan Wright, the freshman, checking in for Fort Dorchester. Little air pass there as he tries to force the issue. And Pickering and Kendall Mack fighting over a loose ball. Is with just 3:30 to play, we're going to take our final media timeout of the evening. Again, West Ashley getting it going, but Jaquan Walker says, hey, say it ain't so. I want in on the story action as we're going to take our final break here from West Ashley High School.
What? It's hard to form coherent thoughts when it's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, turnover, turnover, turnover. I also think, like, in instances like this, when one team is upside substantially more, like, that's the time we can, like, dive into storylines and stuff. I feel like we covered so many storylines so quickly, early. Yeah, you just want to, like, word vomit it all out. But, yeah. But I think, like, every time we've gone, because they come back from commercials and they do a shot of the coach, I feel like we've been able to say something different every time. So I think that's, like, the key. So you want to hear a million different things, or the same things over and over.
Who do you think the player? Do you want to do a player of the game?
Oh, yeah. What'd you say? Who do you think?
It's either going to be Capers or Minus.
Sorry, I can't hear you now. Say that again.
Fella.
Say who?
We welcome you back into my TV Charleston High School Hoops Game of the Week, brought to you by Cruz Chevrolet. Take a good look at Coach George Jenkins. Got to be ecstatic about the performance that his Wildcats have put on tonight. He's got some words for Deshaun Capers. As we take a look, Natalie, at our upcoming slate. Next week, little First Baptist at Pinewood. The private schools will be battling out. We got Goose Creek and Cane Bay, and we'll finish off with Colleton County and Lucy Beckham. All games brought to you by Cruz Chevrolet. And with just about 3 to go, you see Deshaun Capers. Those are his 14th points of the game, but brought to you by West Shore Home Points. You know, you take a look at the games upcoming, Natalie, and we just want to give a huge special shout out to all of our sponsors that make these games possible. It's such a treat for us to get in touch with Low Country Hoops, but also how cool it is for them to be able to bring to life. Wow. Life like that dunk. Lavelle Minus. That's his second flush of the day. 2 of the louder West Shore Home Points in the paint. Brought to you by Lavelle Minus. We might want to almost rename those West Shore Home Points brought to you by Lavelle Minus. He's been a presence down there with 14 in the paint.
I think so, too. Just when this gym started to get a little quiet, you know, it's towards the end of the game. Energy starts to die down. It's Friday night, time to go to bed. Lavelle Minus says, no, we still got 3 minutes to go, guys. We're not done.
Come on.
Get
He
up,
said,
student
come on,
section.
Jack and Natalie, you're talking about high school hoops mixtape. Lavelle Minus, he's got 2 big clips out of his highlight reel tonight.
He heard we were talking about the games coming up in the next few weeks. He said, no, this is the most important game so far on your broadcast slate. We're not done yet.
I know. I wanted to be really kind and thank all our sponsors for giving student athletes like Lavelle minus the opportunity to dunk on television for us. Damati White unable to get it to fall, but it's minus again on the putback. Unable to get it to go, but as we see West Ashley, we knew that they weren't going to take the foot off the pedal. It's just not in Coach George Jenkins' way, but as we look at those games moving forward, Natalie, is there one that stands out to you?
You know, that's tough. I feel like, honestly, every week, Jack, we look forward to all of these games because not one team in the Low Country is the same. They all have different stories. They all have different history. They're all made up of so many talented guys, of course, that come from different backgrounds and everything. So it's awesome being able to showcase that week in and week out and just learn about all of the talent and all of the stories that not a lot of people know of and be able to share. But in terms of X's and O's, I don't know.
They're all good.
They're all so good. How do you pick one? Maybe the Lucy Beckham game?
I know. They're all good. As you see Jordan Wright, talked about storylines. Jordan Wright, the freshman, not able to capture that first free throw brought to you by Holy City Heating and Air. But Jordan Wright started this year as a JV player. Has started a couple games for Coach McElveen. He was unable to knock down the second either, but he's a freshman that's really learning the game, and he's got a super bright future for the Patriots. Come on, he's got to have another one, right?
Every shot he releases, it looks like it's going in.
So pretty, right? Clyburn unable to get it to fall, and Coach Jenkins wants a timeout. Got to expect for him to clear the bench, get some of his youngsters and roll guys out there as West Ashley leads 74-46. But we mentioned it earlier, wanted to talk about some of these sponsorships and promotional considerations. To all of these sponsors that are able to bring these games to life, we just want to thank you. Crew Chevrolet, David A. Law Office, West Shore Home, Holy City Heating and Air, Willow Gray, All-American Awards, Marquise Dental Center, and Low Country Crawl Spaces. Without these guys, without our incredible crew and staff, none of these games would be possible. They give these young student athletes here in the Low Country the opportunity to play on TV, and we could not be more thankful for them. See Coach McElveen. His team trails 74-46, just a minute 44 to play. Natalie's, they had to practice, and they'll go back and watch us on film. What's his message to his young team going to look like next week?
You know, I'd imagine, and I've said it probably 2 or 3 times already tonight, but just relax, have fun.
Absolutely.
I mean, of course, it's hard to have fun when you look at a scoreboard like tonight. It's awfully lopsided, but you got to love the effort. I love they have not shown a face of giving up once here tonight, but so many times here tonight, they've just been able to be a little rattled. And I mean, credit to West Ashley, of course, is the team that's up in your face from start to finish, but I haven't seen them relax yet. It's still go, 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 forcing passes that perhaps maybe just to move the ball a little bit more and relax.
Absolutely. See Jaquan Walker off the dribble, I'm going to get it, but that rebound crowd by Jaden Sanders, the junior, who had the 2 points on the other end, brought to you by West Shore Home Points. But honestly, a lot of times in these situations, this can be a coach's dream. You get to play some guys that don't often get a lot of play time, and you're going to see who's not going to quit, who's going to take advantage of his opportunity. Jaden Sanders, a couple big plays to make his presence felt and maybe make a mark to try to get in the lineup. It's Kaz Williams off the dribble. God.
Yeah, that's a possession right there I like from Fort Dorchester. Every guy getting in on the play, moving the ball around, taking it along the baseline, find a guy in the corner looking to maybe knock down a shot, decides to, I'm going to drive to the basket, and then you see those defenders collapse, and that's when you go up and you draw a foul and you get to the free throw line.
Absolutely. It's Kaz Williams able to knock down the first of the Holy City Heating and Air, but Kaz Williams is a guy, he's a junior, leading the team in scoring right now. I don't know if we mentioned it tonight or not, but as we kind of talked to Coach McElveen about his guys, he mentioned Kaz Williams. I don't think he knows how good he is yet. He's a guy that can score in a hurry, and when Kaz Williams goes, Fort Dorchester goes, really bright future for the Patriots for sure.
Yeah, and McElveen.
How about the steal? Yes, sir. Not ready to give up yet. Jordan Wright with a nice steal, unable to get the fall. Back to the freshman. Every point matters. He's unable to get that 3 to go. It's a loose ball with just under 10 to play. You see these guys are going to battle their tails off to the last second.
Yeah, Kaz Williams with the ball right now, and I mentioned it. Head coach Thomas Montague, He says KD reminds him of
Kaz Williams.
Yes.
I see the skill set. Lofty praise, but makes sense to me as he's able to wrap it up, finishes with 6, but more importantly, West Ashley with a dominating 76-49 win. We're going to be back with the trophy presentation, Natalie Spauer, with Coach George Jenkins and our player of the game as West Ashley gets a huge win, brought to you by Cruise Chevrolet. He said, ask him 2 questions and find him back, hey, with our player of the game. We talked about you wanted to see this guy dunk, well, he gave you 2 of them. Our player of the game.
Check, check, check. Can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you. With your team. Check, check.
Hey, Vince, am I going to throw it to her like last week? Awesome. Okay, perfect.
Jack's tossing?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Get on my back. Chill.
Y'all can't act right for 2 seconds?
Bro, my back hurt and they shaking. Bro, they touching my back.
Be quiet. Act like we've been here before.
Okay.
Thank you.
And we knew you had to come back and see the trophy presentation. It's My TV Charleston High School Hoops, driven by Cruise Chevrolet. West Ashley with a dominating 76-49 win. We're going to kick it courtside with Natalie Spauer, who's with Coach George Jenkins after their big-time win.
Yeah, thanks, Jack. Well, Coach, a dominating game from start to finish. What did you like most about the way your guys performed today?
It's like the way they played hard. We was aggressive on defense. We never let up. We had a tendency of letting down, so we act like when we were in the locker room, we said we were down 20. And we wanted to fight the last way we played in the 4th quarter of Somerville, and we just carried it over into today. And we just fought, man. We just fought hard, man. Fort Dorchester is a tough team, but we just show them what we are. We might be young, but we never going to quit. We tough. I love my guys, and I wouldn't trade it for nothing else.
Now, you talked about the keys to the game being those turnovers, those rebounds, those layups, the little things, those detail-oriented things. How do you think your team performed in that aspect tonight?
I think we scored B in those areas. Still has a few turnovers, few missed layups, but overall we did great. We took care of the ball. We boxed out. We made the layups when we had it. We finished tough at the basket, although, it wasn't calling fouls, but we still played tough. And that's what we got to do the rest of the season. That's what we got to do, continue to play that way. We had a couple of close losses, but if we play that way, the sky's the limit this season.
Exactly. And, Coach, you said the big picture is, of course, making it into the playoffs. How did a win like today set the tone moving forward?
I set the tone because it moves us up to 3rd place right now. So we just got to keep clawing one game at a time. Our goal each week is 1-0. On Tuesday, 1-0 on Friday, and when the chips fall at the end of the season, we'll see where we land, and we'll take our hat to play anybody we want to play.
Well, your team made it hard for us tonight picking a player of the game, but it's the big man in the middle, you said. Lavelle Minus gets that honor tonight. What kind of a game did he have for your team tonight?
An awesome game. He finally went up and dunked the ball like I wanted to. But he had a great twice. So he played great, man. But it wasn't just Lavelle. It was Damani White, Tyler Point, Deshaun, Kendall, JR, Maddox. It was a total Cam Brown. Cam Brown really came through tonight. It was a total team effort. We're not just one person. We're a collective group, and we play together. You might say you're going to stop one person, the other person's going to step up. So it was a total team effort. He might be MVP of the game, but my whole team is MVP of the game.
Exactly, and I'm going to let your whole team get their hands on this trophy, Coach, because they all deserve it.
See you, man. And you see him there. Tonight's trophy and the Scholar Athlete plaques at the end of the season are provided by All-American Awards, helping Charleston recognize excellence since 1993. And there couldn't have been a guy. And Coach Jenkins mentioned it. It was a whole team collective tonight. It could have been a plethora of guys. They had 5 guys in double digits tonight in scoring. And that's usually on par when you score 75 points a night. But for Coach Jenkins and his West Ashley team, it started with the big fella. He told us earlier in the week he wanted to see the big guy play above the rim. Well, he did it twice. Lavelle Minus is our player of the game tonight as he had 14 with 2 massive dunks. But on behalf of Jack DeLongshall and Natalie Smollett sitting courtside, it was a pleasure here at West Ashley. The camo is out in full force, and we'll make sure to see you next week for First Baptist in Pinewood. On behalf of anyone and all of our sponsors and our director here in the booth, we say thank you as My TV Charleston High School Hoops driven by Cruz Chevrolet is out this week, and we'll see you next Friday night.